Hello to whomever in the Barbotine community this may concern, or whomever is interested in crypto and algorithmic trading. We're going to go over the funding toolbox from Barbotine and how to install and run the toolbox itself. We've gone over what the funding rate is in our previous video if you want to check that out, and how it works in relation to the spot and futures prices. And we've discussed different arbitrage strategies that can be run, but we're going to go over first a simple and straightforward example before diving into more complex cases. So for installation, you're going to go over to the repository itself, open a git init project, and clone the actual repository. Once you've cloned the repository, you want to first check if you actually have Python version below 3.12, so you can run Python version. I'm on 3.10 right now, so I'm good. And then you're going to want to actually change directory into the Barbotine funding repo and check that you actually installed all the Python libraries that the bot depends on. So they're conveniently accounted for in the requirements.txt, so you can simply run pip install requirements.txt. I've already installed all the dependencies. That might take a minute, but once you've run the installation, you can now run the bot itself with main.py script. You should be able to get the following output, where you can see you could choose between one of 5 options. We're not going to dive into the more complex examples right now. As I said, we're going to go over a simple example for funding rate arbitrage, but you could watch, fetch, and monitor both single exchanges or multiple cross-exchange funding rate arbitrages with this bot, as well as execution for live trades on funding arbitrage. Alright guys, so we're set up locally and ready to execute orders, commands on the bot, and be able to monitor different markets and act on different opportunities for arbitrage using the funding rate. So what we're going to do for a simple and straightforward example is actually buy into or short the token that pays off most funding rate interest at a time, and do so right before it actually pays off the interest, so that you're not exposed to either long or short position for an extended period of time, but you do end up earning the funding rate interest. So in my case, I'm going to use the monitor single hyperliquid because I'm using the hyperliquid exchange. For demo purpose, I'm actually on the testnet right now, but we are compatible with over 80 exchanges currently for different digital assets. And so you could go over monitoring whichever market you prefer. So I've actually copied this command into my terminal, and after loading on the different markets, we've actually got a list of top tokens who are paying off most in terms of funding rate interest. So you can see that actually OX is actually paying quite a lot of funding rate. So we're just going to check out that market right now. 0xers. So you can see that annualized, that's pretty high. And remember that this funding rate is actually positive, and so longs will pay shorts. That means we have to short this token. We could actually even leverage it, leverage the position to earn more with our available equity. And we could, before this countdown reaches 0, open a short position for this token, and we're gonna be able to close that short position right after the countdown and once we've earned the funding rate fee. So you would just simply place the order right before this countdown touches 0 instead of right now, which is still pretty early. If you want to open it earlier on, you would simply be exposed to more directional movement of this token. So that's the most simple and straightforward way to understand funding rate arbitrage, how to monitoring the best opportunities throughout different markets, remembering that depending on if the funding rate is actually positive or negative, you should go long or short. That's something we talked about in the first video. And yeah, we're going to go over some more complex examples of how to run other commands in the bot and how to execute dual exchange and spot futures hedges on our next video. And just as a actual shout out is we're currently building a interface for all this type of communication. So we're gonna have a graphical interface for Windows and Mac OS that will let you do a lot of useful things in terms of funding rate and actual execution of spread, whether it's cross exchange or basis, and all sorts of other monitoring and actually being able to execute the most profitable of these arbitrage opportunities in different points in time. So stay tuned. We're going to go over more complex examples in our next videos. And yeah, if you have any doubt, make sure to join our Discord and hit us up through there. All right, guys, take care.